Okay, interesting video. College versus selling insurance. Would I have gone to college knowing what I know now? Is college even worth the time and the money? And what are my thoughts as a business owner in the insurance space on the applicability of an educational experience in the university system? I'm going to be talking about that and more on today's video. My name is David Duford. I own Duford Insurance Group, train and recruit agents nationally in my agency since 2013 to sell final expense Medicare annuities and ACA under 65 health insurance, both face-to-face and over the phone. I invite you to go to davidduford.com/FAQ to learn more. So I want to start with kind of giving you a brief overview. And I guess the reason I'm putting this together is I'm getting a lot more younger people coming into this business. The average age of insurance agents is like 60 years old now. And there's a lot of retirees, and a lot of the, I think, younger market of prospects of agents are starting to realize the opportunity to run a successful business where you can help people and make good money. And so there's been a slew of younger people in their late teens, even their 20s, that I've been training, had the honor to train and recruit. And sometimes a topic comes up about how much college has had an impact or not on my success as an agency, or how much it may have on their success as an individual agent. And so what I'm going to provide you, first of all, I guess, is my experience doing both. I did go to school, college, and as well as run an agency for the last 10 years. And I'm going to kind of give you my perspective, I think, as a person who's done both, on what the pros and the cons are, and kind of, I think, the reality we're in now when it comes to something like selling insurance. What kind of knowledge actually matters, and where you got to go to get it, and what kind doesn't. So first of all, I always wanted to go to school. I always wanted to go to college. My grandfather went. I always thought it was extremely important. I was top of my class in high school. I went to Boston University, graduated a year early, earned a bachelor's in business administration, took a couple of summer courses, and opened my personal training gym after I got out of school. That failed out at the bottom of the Great Recession in 2011, and thankfully I stumbled across the insurance business. And with some rocky beginnings, it's been pretty good after the first couple of years, and has become phenomenally awesome, especially in the last couple of years. So I have this experience where I went the typical route, I guess you can say a lot of teenagers are encouraged to go, which is to enroll in some kind of educational experience on a collegiate level versus going right to work. And what I want to do is kind of reflect on, now looking back, I'm 37, almost 38, on what role I think college played in my profession. Of course, there's a bit of hindsight as 2020 in this. I never knew I would end up in this business. But still, I think it's worth spending some time on thinking, well, how much did this school experience actually impact your success in your life? And in short, to be quite honest with you, I thought my time at college was a giant waste of time. There's very little in business school that I learned that actually translated to running a business, in first personal training, and then second in the insurance business. It's kind of a shame. My experience and expectation in school was largely not met. Sure, there was lots of opportunity for learning, but not in the entrepreneurial sense. Maybe if I were to pursue more of a technical route like accounting or finance or something like that, it would have been more fruitful. But to me, the experience overall of going to college was just to get that piece of paper, which frankly doesn't mean much of anything if you don't have the underlying character traits and desire for success. And the thing is, I'm not fully dumping on the college experience. But what I'm saying is, I don't think necessarily you having a piece of paper means much, especially in the insurance sales space. And that's kind of what makes it beautiful. Just because you've got a degree doesn't mean that you can actually go kill and eat what it is that you hunt. In other words, you can have all of these academic credentials, but you got to go out there and actually convince regular, average Joe and Jane Americans to hand their money over to you and to buy a life insurance or insurance policy from you. And that is a task that is very difficult to do. And college doesn't necessarily prepare you for that. Again, I went to business school. There is very little effort made to teach you how to sell, how to deal with suppliers or HR issues, or hiring or employees or clients, and how to manage that process, because there's a limitation on an academic level. You can learn things from a third-party experience, but you never really get into the thick of it like you would if you actually ran a business and went out there and tried to attempt to help people and sell. So for me, looking back again, this is perfect hindsight. I get it. Definitely critique or criticism can be applied here. The college experience had no impact on my ability to sell, learning how to sell, running a business. In fact, what I did when I graduated and started my personal training gym is I hired consultants. I had bought courses. I learned how to sell. I invested in a ton of books, as you can see behind me, and I kept up the educational experience, but made it to where it would be specific to the route that I was going, first in the fitness business and certainly on the sales side, but next into the insurance side as well as the selling side of selling insurance. And so a couple of things here, I guess, where I'm going with this. I'm not, again, throwing college completely under the bus, but I think a couple of things that are really profound is that if you have a desire to be in this business and you're young, you don't have to have a college degree. I can't remember over the course of, at this point, almost 10 years I've recruited agents, ever really seriously considering someone based on just their resume. I know people in this business that have a GED that are absolutely crushing it, making more than doctors and even surgeons. I know people that flipped burgers. One year and the next year, they're making 150, 200,000 net income after expenses in the insurance sales business in their early 20s. And I've seen this a multitude of times, time and again, over and over. And the point is, and I think there's a good bit of society that's getting this now, thankfully, is that college is not required necessarily to be successful. If you have an entrepreneurial desire and will, and you do believe in education and you want to seek ways to improve, you don't necessarily have to carve out that 4, 5, or even 6-year period to get your bachelor's degree and really take away part of your life where you're young, you're unencumbered with family and obligations, that you could apply yourself in the real world and actually learn some real skills to pay the bills. And that's really the essence of the insurance business. And I like it because of that. It's almost akin to the old guild system or apprenticeship system, where you go to work with somebody who's a skilled pro, has street cred. They'll take you under their wing. You work for them for a while. You learn and kind of see what they do and start mimicking it and acting upon it. And then over time, you can start taking over and doing the same thing that your person who was training you taught you on how to do. And that's really how the insurance business is learned. So that's why it's unnecessary to even think that you need to have any kind of college degree whatsoever. Not to mention, again, I went to Boston University. School is $40,000 a year, and it's quite expensive, and that was like 15 years ago, for a degree that doesn't have immediate applicability to the business that we're doing. So some thoughts here, again, on the differences of college and selling. Again, what's the purpose of this video? It's really just to kind of give you my insight to this as far as, do you need to have this? Or if you're in a position of thinking about this, of going to school versus selling insurance, the safe play is, for many, your parents will say, go to college, get that degree. But again, so many people have degrees. A lot of people have degrees, work at Starbucks and don't ever apply themselves. So because there's such a large supply, its significance isn't like what it was, to the baby boomers out there where there were less people. But what matters more, if you're going to go, especially whether it's selling insurance or any sales orientation, it's about performance. It's about, can you take something and create something from nothing? Can you influence your prospects and help them so that they will buy from you? And can you duplicate that process consistently? Create new revenue for businesses. And if you can, you have a skill set that's absolutely more impactful and important than any standard degree, for the most part, is worth. And a couple of things here, again, there's value in academic knowledge for sure. It's important to do, to expand your mind, to help you learn how to think. I think there's some value in that. But you'll learn much more, much faster getting up to your neck in alligators. In other words, throwing yourself out here, talking to people, going through the anxiety of asking people to come into their house, or dealing with people pushing back on the phone in a telesales call. That's a valuable experience, and that's a skill set. If you can work on developing that will absolutely pay you. And it's the action of doing it, not the academic pursuit of understanding it, that is going to teach you how to do that. Sales is the driving force of capitalism and cannot be learned completely via academics. Again, if you're going to do anything in the sales business, or you're going to run a business and you've got to go find buyers for your products, like that's something that you learn, especially in the insurance sales business, by actually doing and getting connected with a mentor, getting connected with somebody who's a pro, promising in return your work effort, your discipline, your desire for success, and taking what you can from them and applying it into the business. The last thing I'll say, again, from personal experience, I don't necessarily regret going to school, but again, with perfect knowledge, I would have skipped the college experience. To me, it was highly overrated. I didn't know it at the time, but I was your dyed-in-the-wool, tried and true entrepreneur. I don't work well with people. I'm not meant to be employed by anybody, I think. I'm better running my own thing and having control and having desire and vision where I want to lead my business. And I don't think that those people who have that bug in them are defective. They're just unique. And they should pursue what is in their heart of hearts, whatever that be. And in many cases, it doesn't mean you have to have the college degree. Look at Bill Gates. My father dropped out of University of Michigan. He was drinking too much beer and playing ping pong, went to work, learned the chemical business by firsthand experience, grew a business, sold it to Ecolab in his mid-40s, and retired quite wealthy. So it's something that if you feel that kind of desire, it's okay. I don't think college is going to make or break you. There are a lot of other factors in your life, like your willingness to work, to learn, to apply what you've learned, to be disciplined, and to take action. Those are the things compounded consistently over time that wholly make up your ability to have success in life or not. So, for what it's worth, that's my thoughts on the subject. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. And if you're thinking about joining an agency, of course, we recruit nationally. Go to daviddeford.com/FAQ to learn more. Thanks for watching.